Tri-State sports leader. This is WGEM Sports Extra.
We have a jam-packed sports extra coming your way tonight, and if you're a basketball junkie, you'll love the lineup. We begin our trip across the Tri-States right here in town. That's where the Quincy High Shootout tipped off this evening. WGM Steve Lewin was hanging out at Blue Devil Gym all night long, and now joins us back in the studio to break down the action.
Well, every year in the shootout, Quincy High plays the scheduled Western Big Six game on Friday night. And this year, Quincy hosted a struggling Geneseo team. This was the first home game for the Blue Devils since December 12th. Despite the opponent, it was still a high-profile game with so many fans filling Blue Devil Gym. The Devils came in with a 17-1 record and looked like a team worthy of that number 3 state ranking. Right there, Bradley Longcore to Keyshawn Thomas with an early bucket. And then off the inbounds play, it's Camden Brown to Keyshawn. He was too tough to stop in this one. Now watch the defense there. Tyler Sprick with the steal. Then a nice spin and a dish to Longcore, and that one was a beauty. Then it was Dom Clay to Brad Longcore. The Devils quickly had control of this one. Head coach Andy Douglas had said to his team, what we do tonight bleeds into tomorrow night. So they took care of business. Look at that play right there. Dom Clay got the bucket, and then they scored the first 28 points of the game, and they cruised to their 18th victory of the season. The final score, Quincy High School wins it 75-13. Tomorrow night at 7:30, Quincy meets Imhotep of Philadelphia, and they have a guard who's already signed with defending national champion UConn Huskies. So that one should be a dandy tomorrow night. Full slate of action tomorrow.
Thanks, Steve. Across town, Quincy Notre Dame was also participating in the shootout. The pit was filled as the Raiders took on Principia. Where can I get one of those hats, my man? QND got off to a slow start, but Jace Allensworth was able to pick up the slack. He comes around and gets the putback to drop. He wasn't done being aggressive this time with the fancy move in the paint and gets it to go off the glass. Raiders found themselves in a bit of a hole, so they had to be gritty in the paint. Allensworth channeling his inner garbage man, cleaning the glass all night long. Quincy Notre Dame would find their touch from deep in the second quarter. Ty Bozarth setting up from downtown, splashing home the triple here. Principia would call a timeout, but they could not cool off Bozarth. He fires away again, and that one's money from downtown. QND was able to crawl back into this one, but it wouldn't be enough as the Raiders fall to Principia 58-46. Up in Macomb, the Bombers welcome in the Illini West Chargers. Colby Robertson got things started for IW. He crosses up his defender, is able to drill the pull-up jumper from the wing. More from Robertson this time, showing off his speed. He rolls off the screen and is able to drop the floater in the bucket. Felt like we were in a 90s throwback game with all this mid-range game. Macomb's Malachi Connolly joins in on the fun as he buries the baseline jumper. Connolly wasn't done either. This time, he'll expand his range. He lets loose from three-point land and tacks on 3 more points to the scoreboard. This one might have been a little closer than Macomb would have liked, but they would go on to defeat Illini West 59-53. The Eagles made the trip to Grigsville Perry to take on the Tornadoes. Liberty would hang with GP for the minute here. Here is Levi Honer being physical down low as he bullies his way for the bucket. The Tornadoes were in a groove, though. This one gets picked off by Wyatt Lipkeman, and he would do the rest. He cruises to the hoop for the easy score, and he's had the big year for GP. This one got chippy really fast in the first half. Tornadoes able to dish it out behind the arc to Logan Fensick. He finds water at the bottom of the well from deep. Check out this next play. Lipkeman stepping back from behind the arc, trying his luck from downtown, comes up empty, but where's the box out? Heads up play from him to follow his shot and pick up the easy 2 points. Tornadoes would keep firing on all cylinders, and they would take down Liberty 65-39. Across the river, the Tony Lanzini semifinals picked up today after being pushed back last night. WGM's Victoria Bordengo was on the scene and is back in Quincy to break down the highlights. Victoria, take it away.
Thank you, Brendan. Things got back on track today for the Tony Lanzini tournament, and Canton and Hannibal faced off on the hardwood, both teams fighting for that spot in the championship round. Let me start off by saying this was a great matchup, and I am loving these pregame handshakes, by the way. Let's start off the night with a sick highlight. Hannibal gets the steal, but Macy Fisher says, I'll take that back, actually. She then sends it over to Kylie Ott. She takes her shot from behind the arc. Boom! What a great play there from the Tigers. Hannibal's Mariah Mayfield doing what she does best, spinning and faking her way into the paint for the pair. It was tied at halftime, but coming out of it, Canton lit it up. Macy Fisher sends it down low to Macy Glasgow, who sacrifices herself for the bucket. Glasgow put up 22 points tonight. She had a great game. More from Canton. That's Macy Fisher looking like Stephen Curry on the court. Watch how hyped she was after that play, too. Love the intensity. Canton got the job done tonight with the 51-36 win over Hannibal, and for the third year in a row, they'll be going to the Tony Lenzini Championship round.
We're just excited to be back. I love playing in the atmosphere of the Palomar tournament. It just brings so many fans. Have our girls be in that big atmosphere and just see what we can do. I really like to see the seniors win it for the third time in a row because they're great kids and they've just worked so hard to be there.
The Canton boys were also fighting for a spot in the championship, but they had to get past the reigning champs in Van Far. Talk about a great start, too. Here's Caden Oliver for the three, nothing but net. Canton wouldn't stop there. They dished the rock to their boy, Preston Brewer, and the junior sinks a three of his own. The Tigers were cooking, but the meal wasn't finished yet. Tyler Frazier is still hungry. He gets the bucket and draws the foul. More from Caden Oliver a few plays later. He drives it down to the rack for the deuce. Tigers lead by 7. The same intensity the girls had, the boys had too. Canton sets up a play for Brewer in the paint, and watch how pumped up he was after that play. He says, "Let's go!" This game ended up being a close one, but Canton held their ground. They defeat Van Far 53-51 and advance to the championship round to face off against Palmyra. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. Looking at other scores in Iowa, the Crusaders took on New London for their homecoming game. The girls won that game 65-22. Mary-Kate Benloggy put up 20 points. The boys also took down New London 77-39. Central Lee boys captured a 90-57 road win against Van Buren, and Keokuk got the 60-49 victory over Burlington. Brendan, it was another great night filled with basketball, and we'll have plenty more to cover tomorrow. But for now, I'll send it back over to you.
Thanks, Victoria. Back in Quincy, there was plenty of great teams on display. Let's take a look at some of the notable matchups. Father Tolton was taking on Huntington, with Mizzou commit leading the way for the Trailblazers, and he would get in the action a little bit later, but the bigs dominated from the jump. Javar Galbraith gets the tougher and bucket down low. On the other side of things, Huntington will kick it into the corner to Malachi Falk. He'll spot up and drain the tray. Now let's check in on that Mizzou commit, Aaron Rowe. He decides to take it himself, pull up from way downtown as he's able to knock in the three-pointer of his own. Both sides exchanging blows in this one, but when the final buzzer sounds, Huntington would come away with the 64-60 victory over Father Tolton. In action from the Quincy Shootout, number 2 ranked Chicago Curie took on Millard North. Curie showed why they're one of the top teams in Class 4A. Carlos Harris with the quick pull-up jumper to put his team on the board. But Millard North had some elite players of their own as well. Neil Mosser launching this from way downtown and comes away with the trifecta. More from the team out of Omaha, Nebraska. A nifty up and under move from Camden Money finds the bottom of the net as they add to their lead. The Condors weren't going away anywhere, though. They go right back to Harris, and he found his sweet spot from the elbow as he cans another jumper. You'll see plenty of highlights all weekend, but this might be the first big one. Millard's Derek Rollins rising up and dunks on Curie. This one was back and forth, but when it's all over, Curie escapes with the 79-74 victory. Quincy High could potentially see this Curie team deep in the postseason, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. In the first game at Quincy High, it was number 14 team in the country, Wasatch Academy of Utah against I School of Louisville, Texas. First possession, Wabash to the lob, Chris Nawuli with the easy bucket. And on the next trip down court was an even better shot. Nawuli throws down the hammer as they pull ahead. One more highlight from this game, the Tigers were having a lot of fun. They're the number 14th ranked team in the country, and they would win this one tonight, beating I School 83-54. In the second game, Link Academy, the number 4 team in the country, was taking on Oak Cliff of Dallas. James Brown playing strong for Link. Here's what it is with a jump hook. He had 16 points in that game, and Link Academy beat Oak Cliff 69-59. On the